Hello, world. Welcome to Onside Takes. I'm your host, Caden. Joining me are my co-hosts, Tim
I'm not saying anything this time.
and Caleb.
Let's go.
It's time for the conference titles, everyone. Some exciting games this week for us to cover, and an exciting week to look forward to. As for our football teams, though, we're going to continue with just our last remaining team. So this week, we just have the Ravens. With the Ravens and the Lions fans ultimately forming a suicide pact tomorrow at 7 in Canton, Ohio. Tim will be, of course, the lead
getting
man
a
there.
group Uber if anybody wants to join me. The tip's going to be a lot, so it'd be appreciated.
And let's get right into it, to the Ravens. Tim?
I can't. Dude, did you guys watch that game?
I watched all of it.
Unfortunately.
It was an awesome game.
I'm genuinely kind of speechless right now. Like I have a list of stuff written up. I can't even lead into it. Let me tell you, I haven't gotten over this loss even 1%. It
Not
hurts.
even
It
like
hurts.
1%.
It hurts more than it did the night of.
Oh,
This football game ended at 8:30. I had 3 hours on a Sunday night to sit there with my fucking team losing in the divisional playoffs. What do you do? What do you do for 3 hours except sit there and stare at a wall?
Go to bed.
Go to bed. Probably cry a little.
Cry and then go to bed.
That was a choke. It was a choke so terrible. It was artful. The Ravens have done nothing but choke in the playoffs for like almost all of Lamar Jackson's career. This is awful. It is so awful to watch. All right, let's say a lot of people called this that the only team that can beat the Ravens is themselves. My God, we unloaded a 22 Magnum into our foot, man. We bled out on that fucking floor. It was so bad to watch. I mean, let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. 4 turnovers. 2 fumbles, 3 turnovers. 2 fumbles and an interception.
Yep.
You don't win. And 0 turnovers on the Bills. I've seen people saying, why didn't we do more designed plays with Lamar? Didn't matter. We were cooking on offense except for the 3 turnovers. You don't win a playoff game with 3 turnovers. All right, talk to the Lions about that.
Yeah,
3-0.
3-0. Not just the 3. It's that your defense didn't get nothing back.
Even if the Ravens got 3 field goals, because the Bills were not stopping, the Bills got 0. The Bills made the Ravens punt 0 times. Yep.
Didn't punt all game.
If they just get field goals, they win this game. It's the way it is.
It's insane that you lose by 2 points with a 3-0 as well.
It's
like,
okay.
It's insane.
I want nothing more than to scream at the top of my lungs like better team lost. But I can't say that with my whole heart because the better team doesn't turn over the ball 3 fucking times. Okay.
Tim, I don't want to
play a complete game of football if you want to win. And that was not a complete game of football. It was not a complete game of football.
Tim, I just wanted to do a quick callback, and then I'll let you get on your high podium. Just a callback to last week, in regards to a quote specifically from you in regards to better teams. Here we go. If they wanted to win, they should have been the better team.
Yeah, I prefaced that, and I couldn't say with my chest. You know, I prefaced it with the better team doesn't turn the ball over 3 times. But come on, you got to admit when the Ravens were fucking cooking, when they lost the game by only 2 points, this was our year, man. This should have been our year, and we just couldn't keep it.
I can repeat the quote if you want, together, Tim, man. Because this is exactly how the Bucs fans felt last week.
It actually isn't your year either way, though, because like it's over.
It should have been our year. Should have been our year.
Okay. I'm sorry.
All right, I have a division of blame I'd like to divvy up because it's been a hot topic.
Lay it out.
Lamar Jackson. He gets 30% of the blame. All right, you fumbled the ball
That's it.
and threw the worst interception, the worst throw I think I've seen from him all season. Awful fucking interception.
What about
Mark
his
Andrews.
misthrow to Derrick Henry?
What?
He
That's Derrick
missed
Henry's
it,
fault. He dropped that thing.
but it was low. If it was high, he goes for a tutty.
Yeah, Derrick Henry's fault. Mark Andrews, he gets 40% of the blame. All right. I'm going to move on. I'm not going to start describing it because it's going to be a whole thing. Refs, they get a whole 15% for that singular, terrible OPI call. And then the rest of the team gets like 15% or whatever for various drops and minor fuck-ups, whatever.
Damn, good day to be the rest of the team, huh?
Yeah.
What about the coach?
It was...
What
listen,
about the coach, Tim?
Yeah, how was
Coach,
Harbaugh? How
Harbaugh's
was
in
the
the 15.
Oh,
How
gets
was the
5.
post-game?
I don't know.
How was the post game? Yeah.
How was what post game?
with Harbaugh? Did he?
I didn't
You didn't watch
the
anything?
interviews.
You're
I saw
crashing
clips.
out
I saw
on the
some
floor.
clips, but I wasn't gonna sit there and start fucking taking notes for the post game. I was just gonna throw things in my room because I'm a
Okay.
man.
Of course, a true man.
I'm a
Yes.
man. I throw things.
But yeah, there's a lot of blame to throw. I think here's another thing: you can't put it all on Lamar Jackson because yes, there was a terrible fumble, terrible interception, but he's also the only reason you are even in the game. All right, so sometimes you spin the wheel and you get the shitty Lamar Jackson fumble. Sometimes you spin the wheel and you get the fumble recovery into TD. All right.
But what if that happens every single year in the playoffs? And is that Lamar?
That's a discussion point for later. I got to get
Okay.
through this. Okay. That Lamar has his own section. That's a discussion point for then. You can't bait me into. I have an order. I have an order to this, and I'm just trying to reduce the crash outs here. But
I'm
I'd
respecting
like
your
to dwell
time.
on that
Senator.
was it was going into the half. We got a great stop. And then it was a blatant OPI, shoved him to the ground. They were in field goal range, would have pushed him out of field goal range. They would have gone into it 14-17 in the half. And this blind, terrible fucking stupid ref saw a guy push the defender over and decided to call it DPI and just gifted them a 7 points right there. That hurt. It hurt
Have
a
you
lot.
looked in to see if that ref was the same ref that watched the Sam Darnold face mask against the Rams? Do you think?
I
If
don't
they're
know.
the same,
This
might be
I-
legally
I
blind.
forgot to mention it last week, but I did see it before the game started that this ref team favored the home team like 70% on penalties. Ravens were actually like pretty good on penalties, except for that one fucking call, which just gave them 7 points instead of putting him out of field goal range like it should have. But I'm just gonna get that out there. Obviously, there's other problems, but that's like in a game like what was it, 21-23. No, it was like 27 something. I don't know. It's 2 point in a game that ended up 2 point difference. 7 points is a fucking
27-25.
27-25. 7 points is a fucking lot. Bullshit. We're moving on. There's more things important to discuss than wham refs. All right.
That'll be me next weekend.
Well, we have more refs to discuss in all the future games, but just for this
Sure.
specific game, we're done talking about it. But yeah, this should have been our year. I mean, if you look at we got 416 yards. The Bills got 273. We had less possession time. Just a little bit less. I mean, every time we had the ball, it just looked electric until it didn't. Until it was some dumbass fumble or interception. But when we were cooking, we were just cooking, man. Like, we were dicing it up. I mean, our offense, when we weren't, it was weird. Because when we weren't doing one of those 3 turnovers, it looked amazing. Or the fourth drop. Except for those 4 incredible fuck-ups. Like, it was an incredible offensive performance. And it really, really sucks to see it go down like that in a choke. And I think it's finally time to talk about Lamar. And playoff Lamar came back. The first half was not good. Regular season Lamar doesn't do that. Playoff Lamar does that half the time in half the games. Now, granted, this was the best comeback I've seen from Lamar in the playoffs. He came back second quarter. He was flawless. So it wasn't the whole time. He's looking better than he has previous years, but he still looked like playoff Lamar at some
He
points
didn't
there.
throw the ball to himself this year, so that's kind of a letdown.
That was sick as fuck last year. That was a nice healing on the loss.
Did you see the stat that since Lamar has become the quarterback, the Ravens have never won a game trailing 10 plus points?
I don't believe that stat. I'm pretty
It's
sure
true.
that it's happened this
It's
year.
because you're
We
either
trailed by 10
winning
plus.
most of the time or it's a close game. So you're just not down by 10 plus a lot. But no comeback material apparently.
I gotta look this up because I swear to God we had a 10 plus point comeback this year with the Bengals. I think we were down 14. Anyways, it's better. Yeah, it sucks. He's getting old. I need this man to get a Super Bowl. All right, I need this
old?
man. He's okay. He's a mobile quarterback, and every year he's going to be a little bit less mobile. So every year it scares the shit out of me more when we don't win a fucking Super Bowl.
I think it's fine though, because clearly his throwing abilities improved.
Yes, Joe Flacco he had a crazy wild card run to win a Super Bowl. It's always possible, but it's it's a couple percentage points less likely every year. And listen, I love Dan Marino, but the only thing people ever talk about these days is how he didn't win a Super Bowl. If Lamar Jackson doesn't win a Super Bowl, he's going to be nothing but flamed for the rest of his life. Like, incredible QB. Never won a Super Bowl, though. Couldn't make him the
I have
playoffs.
another stat. Do you want it? Yeah, you want it.
I don't think it matters if I want it or not. Just let it rip.
So over the last 7 seasons, the Ravens are the most winning team with no
I did know that
Super
part.
Bowl appearance. Besides, I believe it was the Broncos. Oh, or was it the Colts? They had a 7-year window where they won a shit pile of games. And they did eventually, after that 7-year window, in the 8th season, they won a Super Bowl. So, maybe next year's your year. But maybe you've been saying that for 7 years. So I don't know.
Next year's our year. Oh,
We dumb Cowboys.
Hey, Peyton, the Broncos, right? It was the Peyton Manning run?
My memory
Because Peyton
is...
Manning, in his first 7 seasons, went the exact same playoff score as Lamar, 3-5, and it was a multi-time MVP with no Super Bowl appearance. So, and Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl. There's always a chance. Always a chance.
It's fair.
Can you let me know before the Lamar segment ends? Because I just got a few comments
Okay,
I'd like to add.
I'll kick it off to you. Okay.
All right,
dude, no, I said I'll kick it off to you.
Okay.
I'm kicking it off to you. I will kick it off to you.
Certainly,
All
of
right.
course.
I can hear you guys' keyboards clacking, and all it reminds me of you guys are just like desperately searching for every slander point possible on the Ravens right now, which is what I deserve after winning all year. But let me.
No, really, just after your comment last week. Personally,
that was I don't know who Lamar was throwing to on that interception. Genuinely off by such an incredible margin that he has not had all season.
Did you see the people that were saying it was actually Bateman's fault?
I did see that, but I'm pretty sure
he had
Lamar
the
said
angle up, and then he cut when Lamar thought he was going to keep going. So maybe it's not the worst interception. I mean, you can't have it either way.
Yeah,
but maybe it wasn't the worst ever.
Lamar said he didn't see
the
far secondary.
Yeah,
so that's why. But I didn't see the angle where the second that he threw it, Rashad Bateman braked and went to the outside. Either way, I think both of those are definitely a factor in how bad it looked, but also it was just badly thrown. Like, it could still be better at the end of the day. Also, that fumble was crazy because it wasn't even ripped out. He was just like spun around kind of fast, and his fingers lost the ball.
He should have thrown it like Matthew Stafford, and that would have just been an incomplete pass.
Exactly.
That was his true mistake.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know what happened. I don't know if the ball's slippery or what, but it just came out, and he was just being spun around, and it flipped out, and you can't do that. I don't know if his hands. I know Lamar likes to keep his hands dry. I don't know if they're just wet, sweaty, something. But I think it's time. Now, granted, I'm not supposed to get into Ravens next season, and I won't. But I want a new fucking center. I want a new center. There's been way too many terrible punts or spikes. Hikes, huts, whatever the word is. And I'm sick of them. And new one. All right, that's all I got to say about that. But that's the end of my Lamar. Actually, one more thing. If Josh Allen, or okay, I'll start off. If Lamar wins regular season MVP, I cannot have Josh Allen win Super Bowl MVP. I would a million times over rather have Josh Allen win regular season and Super Bowl MVP, because the amount of slander that's going to come from that is going to be astronomical. Okay, I would rather just give away the regular season MVP if Josh Allen wins it all. That's it though. That's all I have to say on Lamar. So
certainly. All I'm gonna say, Tim, right, is and I'm sure we'll get to the Mark Andrews segment, of course.
mm-hmm.
But personally, I think Lamar and Mark Andrews both played very big parts in losing this game. Some would even say equal amounts.
No shot.
Because sure, we'll talk about Mark Andrews, so I won't get to that. But let's talk about something you already talked about with that OPI call, costing 7 points. Lamar Jackson fumbling at the 20-yard line also cost you 10 points. Lamar Jackson sailing a ball to bumfuck cost you 3 points. So, as much as he played a good second half, he was most certainly the reason you were falling behind to have to pick up your slack in the second half,
Obviously, you got to shit on Lamar in this. All right, he needed to play better in those specific instances, but you cannot say equal with Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews had an awful performance.
Honestly,
all right,
I would go with a 60-40 Mark Andrews. If you're really gonna break it down,
Lamar had the 65.
It doesn't. You don't need a 2-point conversion if you're down that much. Like these situations, like his one drop pass that turned into a fumble, entirely on him. But that cost you 7 points, the exact same amount that Lamar dropping the ball cost you 7 points.
But Lamar is the only reason we even had points on the fucking board. All right,
but he's the quarterback.
Yeah,
of course.
Mark Andrews wasn't doing shit. Lamar Jackson he brought us out of the game, and he was bringing us fucking back in. Okay.
Mark Andrews had 6 receptions for 68 yards. Was the second leading wide receiver for the game.
Yeah, well, 68 yards, 6 receptions.
Dropped it's not insane, but it's not
fumbled once.
Like no one else was doing anything crazier besides Tylan Wallace for 115. I just think that Lamar.
You can't listen. I already gave my stats. Lamar. I gave Mark Andrews 40. I gave Lamar 30. All right, no need to bust my balls on this 60, 40, 50, 50 bullshit.
I just said what I thought.
I think it's crazy.
Caleb's trying to make you crash out here. I'm just saying.
No, I truthfully think that it's Lamar by a lot. Did Mark Andrews fumble? Yes. Did he not catch a ball he should have caught? Yes. You're never in those situations without Lamar doing what he did, which was insane because he never did that in the regular season. The regular season merchant is here, and he leaves in the playoffs.
The NFC North, that's the regular season merchant division right there. Anyways.
That might be true, but catch me when the Ravens make it past the AFC Championship.
Next year.
Dude. We'll go on for years to talk about the historic NFC North, dude. 0 playoff wins, 1 win in 2025, 2 fucking carried QBs. Goddamn, dude. We'll talk about that for years.
We had a lot of wins in the regular season. All right.
Historic, truly.
Back to the Ravens. We suck at 2-point conversions. outside of 0%, which is it's kind of a bad stat because you could maybe only attempt it once or attempt it 0 times. There's only one team in the entire league with a worse 2-point conversion rate, and that's the Giants at 13%.
I thought
And
he was going to
the
say me for a
Ravens
minute.
are second lowest. That's not 0 at 20%.
How many have you gone for? Do you know?
5. So we got 1. We're 1 for 5 on 2-point conversions. And 3 of them are the same fucking play that none of them worked. So it's there's no grand. I mean, to be honest, we probably should have tried. I don't think Derrick Henry was the solution for the 2-point conversion. I think just catch the fucking ball was the solution. Because sometimes Derrick Henry doesn't get 2 yards, so it's still a toss up. But
Were you happy with how they utilized Derrick Henry?
I mean, Justice Hill got the job done.
They were behind in the game, so they did have to throw the ball, but 16 carries for 68 yards. That's not a recipe for success.
I was fine with the offense. I mean, Justice Hill got enough rushing done. We could go. We just couldn't hold on to it. I think it's like, yeah, maybe Lamar could have had some more designed runs. We got 400 some yards. It was the turnovers at the end of the day. It's like, yeah, Derrick Henry, we could have used him more. Maybe he would have gotten that 1 2-point conversion, but at the end of the day, it's like you're really nitpicking, I think.
Sorry, 16 carries for 84 yards. A little bit different, but neither. I don't know. You win when Derrick Henry has 100+ killing the other team. That's when you win your games. So
I mean, Justice Hill got an average of 8.3 yards per carry. He had probably his best game all season, I think.
That's fair.
So it wasn't, and the Bills, they were stopping him. He was
Great
not
analysis.
getting
Drop Derrick
far on
Henry.
a bunch of them. I'm just saying.
I'm just busting your balls. I'm just busting your balls.
But yeah, Justice Hill popped out. That was cool to see. Tylan Wallace, I love that guy. He just comes in for like 1 clutch catch, and he leaves the game. And he's a free agent this year. Spoiler: I think we should re-sign him. But he had 1 reception for 27 yards, no drops, and it's cool when he pops out. Came off special teams, missing Zay, of course. Let's talk about Zay. I think when in a game that close, I think Zay. It's very possible Zay could have made the difference. I think so.
Totally fair.
Yes. I'm not going to cry injury or anything.
If Zay's in your slot instead of Mark Andrews,
Yeah, maybe could have thrown it to Zay Flowers. Maybe could have had that connection there. Maybe Lamar would have had somebody else to throw to instead of that.
Did they ever come up with a
reception.
timeline for him?
Really possible. They were always playing it by ear and just said maybe, and then come Sunday they'd be like no. So, real unfortunate. I think definitely hurt us, but we really could have won without him if we played the whole football game instead of having colossal fuck ups 4 times. But speaking of colossal fuck ups, Justin Tucker didn't have any. Guys, he made the kick. No missed extra points. Made a 50-yarder.
Actually insane.
We
talked about
Craven?
playoff Tucker.
I gotta apologize.
For real.
Guess we're watching the Craven.
I showed that man so many times.
For the whole season, we're like the playoffs. He's gonna screw you. It's like, nope, your star quarterback's gonna screw you.
Mark Andrews screwed us. I never once ever said, "Oh yeah, Mark Andrews is gonna screw us in this playoffs." And guess who came? It was the ones you least expect.
It's okay,
so,
Tim.
Big
I understand.
Justin Tucker.
Can't turn your back on.
He did lose us some games.
I get that. I get that. Let us bring out the scapegoat, Tim. Bring him out. Bring him out to kill slaughter.
Yeah.
Right now, dude.
Yeah, just
Mark Andrews.
Let him go. Free agent. It's totally his fault.
Oh, we're not dropping Mark Andrews.
Get out of here.
Now's the time for the Mark Andrews segment. I will say, here's what I definitely want to happen. He's tight end 2. Isaiah Likely's tight end 1. All right, that's punishment enough.
I don't know how likely isn't your tight end 1 when he's like that tight with Lamar,
he's
but
been so
whatever.
Consistent.
I mean, are they not just on the field at the same time most of the time?
Yeah, but like Isaiah Likely should be number 1.
They're doing routes for Andrews instead of Likely though,
Yeah, but yeah, the second that game ended, obviously I'm furious with Mark Andrews. I'm like, that guy's getting so many death threats in his Instagram DMs right now.
That's just
Well,
wrong.
I
That's
saw
wrong,
the
everyone.
things.
That's wrong.
Obviously, it's wrong. You know, I shouldn't have DM'd him that. It's wrong. But no, it's a joke. I didn't DM him anything. But it was a hashtag I'd rather not say that was threatening bodily harm on Mark Andrews as well. And it was.
I just want.
He
I just
better
want
not.
Ravens
he better
fans to be
watch
more
his
mad
back
at
in
Lamar.
Baltimore. Okay.
I just want too much
Yeah, but
hate
you-
at Mark Andrews.
You guys just
You
love
can't
Mark
get
Andrews
mad
for
at
some
Pookie.
reason. Dude, the entire second half was Mark Andrews.
But
You
the
got both
entire
the fuck ups
first
for him
half
in the
was
second
Lamar
half.
Jackson.
Yeah, but wow, everyone watched the second half afterwards. They go to Twitter after we lose, and who just dropped the game-saving 2-point interception? Who threw it right at his chest? Who hit him in the number? And who dropped it? Huh? Who are you going to send death threats to? I know who I did.
I don't know. I look back at the
I know
playoffs
who I did.
history. I look back at the playoff history, and there's one consistent member of the team.
It's
That
Mark
leads the
Andrews, the
team.
scapegoat.
Hey, you know, Mark Andrews might have saved that diabetic woman's life, but he probably killed a couple people last night that just shot themselves when their parlays didn't go through. You know?
No, we don't know.
I saw somebody say they're going to put poison in his insulin pump. Like, I have never seen people wish for blood on Ravens Twitter like they did last night. It was crazy.
Some people, right after they saw Lamar do his ballerina twirl to, drop the ball, some people just ballerina twirled out their window, It's just the way it is. Like,
He said he does this every year.
He also, I want to say that Mark Andrews totally dipped. There was no post-game interview. Didn't talk to any press. He
'cause
wasn't
he's
part of the final
he's pissed at
conversation.
himself, dude. Like, he's so
Is-
fucking angry.
Last year, Zay Flowers drops a ball at the 1 yard line, fumbles a ball on the 1 yard line, and he talked to the media afterwards. If you want to be the man of the year,
That's pretty crushing. I mean, I don't blame him for not.
he looked
talking
fine
to
on the
people.
bench. He was just chilling on the bench afterwards.
Yeah, in his head, he's like thinking
Be a
everything
man,
over.
throw a helmet, okay?
I
Read a book or something.
I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to
Read a
see the helmet
book.
thrown. When they were cutting over to him, I'm like, throw the helmet, smash it, break it. Like,
Dude,
Crash out.
and actually, I'm surprised you guys haven't mentioned this, but I will say, even though I still think the majority give it to Mark Andrews, we still had to stop Josh Allen once again, because we already did it a couple times, from scoring with 1:30 left. Like, it would have been hard, but we did do it before. I mean, I'm not going to pretend like that would have immediately sent us into overtime. Like, we still had some execution left, to be honest, but
Mhm.
it was certainly better than ending the game with 1:30 left.
Certainly. I wasn't sure if we wanted to talk about the Bills now. I have a few points in the Dubber Flub, This is
Yeah,
a
we should,
Bills and
um,
Ravens
now.
game, so
we're
Yeah.
gonna let Tim get through his Ravens.
I actually don't have too many points. 30 minutes in, just a couple left, guys. Just a couple left. Then we're done talking about the Ravens.
Oh no, then we talk about the Bills, which are part of the Ravens.
Yeah. So Bateman got
Fuck
injured on
you,
that last
Josh.
drive. That was tough, and still made that was kind of clutch. Was really running on fumes there. I mean, that's why I got to say you got to give the flowers to Lamar. Zay was gone. Bateman was gone. Mark Andrews dropped it. Like, he's feeling this. Okay.
I understand. There's a lot of weeks that you could give him flowers to Lamar. You can't give it. You can't.
Stop me.
He's
That's what I'm doing right now.
he's the main reason they lost. Tim,
I've shit on him. I've shit on him how many times this episode? I can do both. I can
Never,
do both. And
really.
you can't stop me. You can't fucking stop me.
he's the main reason you lost, Tim. Say
No,
it.
second.
Say you're
Number
mad.
two. Number
He's
two.
still your
Number two.
quarterback. You
Number
can still
two.
be happy with him. He needs
Number
to
two.
step the fuck
I'm not giving
up
him that
in the
one.
playoffs.
I'm not giving him the one.
It's on repeat. He fucks
Moving
up
on.
repeat in the playoffs.
I'm not changing my fucking mind on this. You guys,
He's being the Vikings organization in one single player. It's insane.
all right. Speaking of the Bills, the defense was actually insane. Like,
the Bills
locked in
or
week 11
the
and we
Ravens.
Are we
the
done
Ravens
with the
defense against the
Oh,
Bills.
okay.
I just don't think that's true at all.
They locked in week 11. They held Josh Allen down to some punts, kicks. Really, really nice. I was never too worried. I mean, obviously I was worried when Josh Allen was on the field, but it wasn't like Burrow that one game where every time he stepped, he just threw a touchdown pass for like 80 yards in the first play. So I would really have no complaints with the defense there. It would have been nice with the interception, but that's kind of asking a lot, to be honest. And then this is the real last point, and we can move on to the Bills and the other games. O-line was kind of shaky that game. Not as great as I'd like to see. Obviously, Lamar got pressured a bit more than normal. But yeah, Bills defense got some good forced fumbles. I think it could use some attention in the offseason, basically, is what I'm trying to point out. But at the 30-minute mark, I think that it is time to move on. So I'll kick it off to whatever you guys want to talk about.
Well, I was just going to bring up how, the Bills' rushing game absolutely dismembered the Ravens, is what I was going to bring up.
True.
Josh Allen, that guy's a threat on his own. But then you got this little slim green bean named James Cook that I've been hyping up for the past however many weeks. That guy just slipping and sliding through all the defensive linemen, getting positive gains. That guy was the reason they were able to keep the dual threat going. And I think they need to be fucking scared. The Chiefs, of course, they need to be scared. Because if this is what they can do against the Ravens, the number one rushing defense in the league, you got to be on the watch.
Yeah, 147 rushing combined between everyone. That's no joke against honestly a great defense that has really developed throughout the year. Kind of a letdown performance
from bottom 20 to I'd say top 10 almost defense. Ravens stepped up.
The
for
Ravens
sure.
Pass defense finally came into its own for a while. I mean,
I think they only got like one 20-yard play.
Do we think the weather affected this game, Tim?
I mean,
do you think your team,
it's clearly been talked about
play
before.
Cold.
Lamar Jackson,
yes.
Remember that one time when he was like, I thought my pants was slipping, and I could feel the breeze on my ass, and it distracted him. So I'm gonna say Lamar felt the breeze on his ass at least several times during the game, and that's what distracted him and made him drop the ball.
I think, Caden, you're cooking. I don't think it was a massive factor because he still threw like 200 some yards.
But I think
than
it normally
was
in
something.
Baltimore.
That was the coldest game that Lamar Jackson's ever played. So I think it was a factor. I don't think it was a deciding one, but definitely
we'll say props to Lamar.
Everything's a bit slippier.
John Harbaugh wanted to practice inside, and Lamar was like, "Hey, can we practice outside?" And this was obviously last week before.
That's aura.
He was like,
"That's aura."
So I mean, I really don't understand when football coaches don't when you're going somewhere cold. Why are you not practicing in the cold? At least half the practice, or get out there, get a little bit used to it. There is something that you do get used to the cold. It does work.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, too cold is too cold. But, they put that stuff on their arms that, insulates their
Unless you're from
skin.
Miami, of course.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, let's go swimming for practice. I don't know.
You're swimming at the Y. Come on.
But, I mean, Josh Allen, he's that guy.
They might not have had the most flashing of yards, but that's just because they were grinding the clock the whole game and just eating it up. They had their big chunk plays when they needed them. It was really on the secure for the receiving. I mean, their next one was James Cook with 15 yards. Not flashy here, guys.
I mean, when you look at stats, the Bills didn't look like they were obviously the better team. But when you think about you go and play in cold Buffalo, they know how to play at their home, obviously in the playoffs when it's cold. They just have this recipe for success that they think they can beat any team that comes in there with their grinding, just playing man football. And that's what they did.
Now they gotta go to Kansas.
Which that cold is not going to bother them. However
Yeah,
cold
the
it's gonna be.
noises and the refs, like
Whoa, we're not talking
slicing
about that game
Achilles
yet.
and
We're
all
not
that,
talking
you
about
know.
the game yet. We're not there yet.
Of course, I'm so sorry. Yeah, all in all, I think
Banger game though.
it's a banger game. I think easily. I think Ravens win if they don't blow, like, if they don't, like, they win the
Blow
game if
chunks.
the Ravens don't deliberately walk into their own home and set up an intricate pipe bomb and then sit on top of it as it goes off. That's really
Yeah.
what it comes down to.
I did forget to mention that they would have won without the turnovers. Like they turned the ball over 3 times and lost by 2.
Tim,
They would've
actually,
won without him,
I
but
think
they
we
did
got
him.
that point across. Don't worry.
We may have discussed that a bit.
No, not enough. I need to say it in those exact words. They would have won.
Okay, let's move on to our other exciting game, the Commanders at the number 1 seed Lions.
Holy shit.
I don't talk about the Lions that much on here because I got enough to talk about the Ravens. I'm a big Lions supporter because of my dad.
Yep.
So I watch a lot less of their games, but obviously when it comes down to it, I always want them to do well, and it's nice because they're a more local team and they're not in the same division or not in the same conference as the Ravens. This gutted me, man. This is awful. This is a 1-2 punch. I want to remind
the worst
people.
weekend of football in his
I want
life.
to remind you. Last year, the Ravens and the Lions were both in conference championship games and lost. And then the next year comes around and they both lose in the same playoff weekend again after having more incredible seasons. This is awful, awful.
It's not good.
I mean, can we just give the props though? Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. Holy fucking shit. I mean, what an
actually
insane game from them. Absolutely insane.
Gene Daniels,
45 points.
preemptive dubber flub, best rookie QB of all time.
Well, it's not
coming.
an argument if he goes to the Super Bowl.
It's
Yeah.
true.
And he's not that far off. I mean, he's
I think
It's
it's
insane.
possible. It's gonna be hard, but I think it's like possible.
Oh, it's more than possible. I mean, if anything, this game was the impossible game. This was the
True.
one where, like,
True.
the Lions are gonna run over the Commanders. They're gonna dumpster them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that the Lions' defense actually was hurt really bad. The Vikings just sucked ass and made it look like it was good. Like Sam
think
Darnold,
that's fair to say.
I think he convinced all the fans, all of the announcers, all of the analysts that the Lions' defense was back. But no, they're still very injured. And Jaden Daniels
He convinced me.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly, like, there's a lot that was wrong with this game. But people who are calling the Lions frauds are pissing me off. You can give your fair blame to the offense, you know. There's some god-awful fucking moves. That Jameis Williams fucking int. Barf. Jared Goff getting a little bit exposed, perhaps. Barf.
Bro's looking kind of like Sam Darnold, though. I ain't gonna lie.
No, he's looking like
He
he was with
was.
the Rams. That's
Yet
what it's
another
looking
vomit
like.
game,
You know?
like the
All right.
Texans, except he
That's
lost
fair.
it.
There's a reason there's a reason in when it counts, Ben Johnson is putting the ball in Jamar Gibbs' hands and not Jared Goff. It's the way it is. Because, you know, even though he's paid the most on the team, doesn't mean he's the most valuable player. Second thing that's, like, you can give the blame to the offense easily, but the defense, this game was a shootout, easily, right? And if the Lions defense was here, let me give you a stat. The Lions had 7 of their week 1 starters out. Following that, their backups, they had 8 of their backups for those first week position starters out. So we had third string nobodies. No offense, of course. They're getting paid a lot of money. But third string nobodies out there in the fucking field. Going against the like of Jaden Daniels.
I will say the Jaden Daniels, he has to put up a good fight against the Eagles at least. If he can't do anything against the Eagles defense, then it's like, okay, maybe not the greatest rookie season ever.
But he can. He's played them twice.
But if he dices them up
Tim,
or even
I'll
gets a
give
close
you, I'll
game,
give you another
then
stat
it's
line
gonna.
here.
I think
Jaden
it's a real
Daniels-
good chance for greatest of all time rookie season.
Jaden Daniels has more playoff wins than he has sacks, ints, or fumbles.
And wait, what? He has 1 sack all season?
Sack, win, or fumble in the playoffs. He's got more playoff wins
Oh, okay.
than he has sack, fumbles,
I don't know
or
why
ints
I
in
believed
the
for a second
playoffs.
there he had 1 interception all year, but
He is just playing out of his goddamn mind. I mean, he looks so calm. Like, you see him, they always talk about, he's on the sidelines, he's smiling, he's chill. He just looks like he's been there.
Yep.
Bro has not been there at
For
all.
reference, that one negative play was
Mhm.
against the Bucks. He had 0 negative plays. 0 negative plays against the Lions.
The craziest thing is, like, the
It's
Washington
ridiculous.
Commanders' offense is, like, their offense is pretty much exclusively Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. That's
You can't even say that anymore, though. Robinson Jr.
That's true.
has really come
they've
in.
got some other people showing up, but like for most of the season, it's literally been 2 players.
That's a good point.
You're hoping that they can connect on a couple touchdowns, maybe 3. Obviously, you have Brian Robinson Jr., but that just depends if Jaden Daniels in the pass game is strong, well, then the run game can also
This
excel.
isn't a dub or flub point, but it needs to be brought up about how every single team that's remaining in the playoffs has a quarterback that is a running threat.
pocket passes are over, man.
It's cooked. It's just too much pressure. Like, there's specific plays. The Lions had, I don't even remember where they were at. They had 2 QB like watchers, I forget their names. Spies, yep. Just waiting. And Jaden Daniels, he fakes a pass and gets 10 yards, even with 2 spies, because he's that dynamic of a threat. One thing I want to bring up about this game as well is Amon-Ra St. Brown went online, talked some trash to Diamond Brown, and he was like, I don't even remember what he said, but said something, and Brown, the other Brown, came to fucking play.
For real. I mean, Amon-Ra came into play, though, too. I mean, 137 for 8. That was a great game. I mean,
It was
Lions 31 points is not bad.
It was a shootout.
That's a
Like,
good game.
I think people are really underestimating this game. Was just a shootout. Like, until the last quarter, it was a shootout. Like,
but one quarterback was firing on all cylinders, and the other quarterback was quaking in his boots
and throwing it right to the defense.
Mm-hmm. I will say, not that it mattered in the grand scheme of things, but it will when we talk about the Chiefs game. There was totally an illegal hit on Jared Goff on one of those interceptions. Because
that was pretty bad.
Contact.
Yeah, if that was to the almighty Lord Mahomo, that guy would have been publicly executed in the middle of the field.
Mm-hmm. Just need to point
true.
that out.
You have a point. But 3 interceptions, 1 fumble lost. Bro lost it by himself.
He was definitely playing concussed as well, Jared Goff.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Definitely.
Because he was after the game.
Did the interceptions
right at the
come?
beginning.
Was it just the 1, or how many were after the hit?
I'm not sure.
That's the real question.
I'd say at least 2.
I think almost the most. It was like the first quarter that he went out.
Gotcha. Yeah, maybe that's the case. Maybe he was not quaking in his boots. He literally couldn't think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll talk more about
Banger game, though. Absolutely banger
dog
game.
shit reffing, but yes, an
How about that
absolute.
second quarter, though? I mean, that's the most points ever scored in the postseason in the second quarter.
a shootout.
28 for the Commanders and 14 for the Lions.
That's
Absolutely
actually insane.
That's a whole game in a quarter.
Yeah, crazy game. Crazy game. Commanders definitely deserve it. All you Commanders fans out there, absolutely putting number 5 up as the second coming. It's worth it.
Yeah,
That guy's legit.
for real. The Lions made me so happy for this loss. I mean, just making the NFC. I didn't want anyone to win in the NFC North. If we couldn't win, I don't want anyone to win. Especially like the cocky ass Lions. They ain't even been anyone for a long time. They finally get decent, and they think that it's going to be a free walk to a free Super Bowl. Boom! Get punched in the face. Dan Campbell made you how tough? Not tough enough.
It's pretty. That's a lot of words from a Vikings fan.
I mean,
It's just a lot of
I
words.
recognize.
Postseason
that we
failure recognizes
struggle to
postseason
win.
failure. That's
Yeah.
legit.
Game recognizes game. They just didn't know it yet.
No, but banger of a game. Commanders, real threat going into next week. Let's look
Real
at
threat.
Let's look at the other side of that with the Rams Eagles. Another snowy ass game out here.
It was actually crazy. You watched the Saquon first touchdown. No snow. Absolutely just nothing. And you watch the second one, the whole place is covered.
It's a blizzard.
Like, it was insane. It was the most perfect football experience I think ever. It's just like football in the cold just looks right. I mean, I'm sure it like is hell to be in, but it looks right.
I think this
don't
game
like-
really came down to.
No, actually, I'll wait till double flub. Sorry, keep going.
I was just gonna say, I think this game really came down to the running back, Saquon Barkley, in the snow, getting it done. Because Jalen Hurts, I don't remember exactly what happened. He got injured. I can't remember if it was a hand thing, head thing.
In this
Whatever
game
the
or
hell
before
thing.
this?
This game.
Oh, okay.
But they were like, they got to keep Hurts out there. He can dictate the ball. And then for every single play after that, they ran it. They just kept running it. They'd give it to Saquon and they would get it done. Because the Eagles' offensive line is probably top 4. And then they have a top 3 running back with Barkley. So, what the
I
fuck
think
do you
they're
do?
They're the best one left.
Yeah.
I think they're better than the Bills.
No.
Chiefs.
When I'm saying top 4, I'm saying like the whole league, I guess.
Gotcha.
Top 1 in remaining teams.
yeah. No, I got what you mean. I just now they are it.
No, definitely.
2-0. What is it? He had 26 carries for 205 yards rushing. Holy shit.
That's the numbers I want from Mr. Henry. Unfortunately for Tim, he had a little bit of dribble going down his leg.
He did not have a great game, but I don't want to talk about the Ravens. Moving on.
As for Stafford, though, that guy slinged the ball. That guy slinged the ball hard. 324 yards, 2 tutties. That's legit.
Dude, I really thought he was going to bring the ball back. Or he was going to win the game at the end of it. But on those last 3 downs, his O-line screwed him over every single time. It was like a false.
Or was it the Eagles' defense being good?
It was a false start. No, it was a false start. And then after the false start, they just got blown through, and then twice in a row. He just did not even have an opportunity to make a play.
Yep.
And he's that guy. He can make that play, but he just didn't even get the chance.
I mean,
It was
Puka
really
can
shitty
catch
to watch.
anything you throw at him too.
Mhm.
Like that last drive, he threw Puka like 3 or 4 balls that I was like, and then he just comes up with it. I was like, I don't think the Eagles get that's how I feel whenever I play the Rams, which is twice this year and lost to both of them. The ball goes towards Puka, you're fucked. Like that's it.
Correct.
It's over. It's insane. So
maybe it was
they're out of here, but
Mother Nature
insane.
said, "Fuck you, Rams. You're only going to be able to run the ball now." And
they didn't even have an awful game. Kyron Williams had 19 carries for 106 yards. I mean, when it gets cold like that and it's snowing and it's hard to run, like that's just it becomes.
And you're against Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, it becomes old school football of pound the rock, and obviously of the 2 teams, you know which one's going to win that. The Eagles haven't been killing their opponents all year. They basically it's a
Yep.
slow burn. They just kill you all game, and then Saquon at the very end just pops one and just bangs his helmet. That was hype. That was so hype when he was banging his helmet on a 78-yard run. Oh my god, I hate.
Aura.
I don't like the Eagles. I don't mind Saquon, but seeing him do that, I was getting hyped, and I hate the Eagles. It was like, oh, aura, so much aura.
Yeah. Yep. Great game. I got not a lot else to say.
Props to Sean McVay for getting the Rams even to this far. I mean, from the beginning of the season, the first 5 weeks, they looked like they were going to be vying for that number 1 draft pick, but they end up making the divisional round.
Well, real. Moving on. Last divisional game. Texans at the Chiefs. Probably one of the most disgusting, ugly, fucking putrid, vomit enticing, saliva regurgitating, stomach. I hated it. I hated it. It's so disgusting. Mahomes
It was a boring game to
terrible.
watch, too.
Sorry, Mahomes is not terrible. Mahomes is the greatest player. This guy is putting up a James Harden performance with the way this motherfucker flops
in the playoffs.
This motherfucker be sitting there. He's like this. He's like, I got the ball here. Come hit me so I can flop right before you hit me. I'm gonna crash out. There's a double flip coming.
Insane one.
There's double flips coming for it. I already got it lined up. I'm gonna unleash it there. I'm so sorry, all you Texans fans. Sorry you have to play against this disgusting Taylor Swift and Caitlin Clark audience having poop. Damn it! The Chiefs won.
Let's be honest, though. There was no path the Texans win this game. There was no way they were winning this game. Like, I know we wanted it, but we knew that the Chiefs season playoffs didn't start till the AFC Championship. That's crazy to say, but the Chiefs season doesn't start every year until the AFC Championship.
That's not ridiculous to say. That's not ridiculous to say.
It's insane. They made it. What is it? 7 years in a row they've been in this fucking game. The game doesn't change. The season literally doesn't change except for in these last 2 games for the Chiefs.
It's fine. It's just every single game. Travis Kelce finds himself magically open in the middle of the field. The only fucking person. I'm
running 5 miles an hour.
Can't fucking handle
wide
it.
open.
I can't stand it. I don't know how he gets open every fucking week.
7 receptions for 117 yards. He's the only person that did jack shit on that team.
Yeah, because the Chiefs defense has been carrying this fucking corpse of an offense the entire fucking season.
It's insane.
Didn't they have another blocked kick? The Chiefs?
I didn't get to watch this game fully, so I did not see that.
I'm willingly gonna watch the fucking Chiefs play?
You guys didn't watch this game? I watched this game. You guys are talking about this more than I did.
The Texans had a field goal block.
Tim, I saw this game. I just didn't watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, I watched it. I just didn't watch it fully.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I wasn't about to give my full. I wasn't hate watching to the max. I was just slightly hate watching.
I was sat down for 12 hours of playoff football, man. We only got 3 games left. At the divisional round, you have to watch them all. Personal opinion.
I watched all of them, just not this one fully. I couldn't do it. I could not waste 3 hours of my time to watch them win a game I knew they were gonna fucking win. I don't got much on this game. I'm not gonna lie. The refs were not great. Patrick Mahomes is annoying. The Texans were never gonna win it. It doesn't matter. It's over. I'm sorry, Texans fans. Your offense just sucked ass. Like, you're never gonna win a playoff game with 14 points, regardless of how bad you think the other team is. Regardless of how good your defense is, 14 points not enough. That's all I got.
Imagine if they have their other 2 star wide receivers. Sucks.
No injury cards here.
That's true. Fuck the Lions. Moving on. That recaps all the games. Let's move into our favorite segment, dub or flub. Up first,
Go.
the dubbing or the flubbing. Cold weather games.
Flub. Asterisk. I don't like playoff snow games. I like playoff regular season games, but I feel like playoffs are too important for snow. Not that they were crazy on this one, but I just like the green field, even playing in playoffs.
Well, maybe some of the
Interesting.
teams on, like, the fucking West Coast need to start winning some games, then, I guess, you know?
For real, I mean, it's cold weather games are awesome because I think that it's like it shows the real football teams that are willing to play no matter what and just evolve and figure it out. Like good football teams can go into a snowy game, a cold game, and they figure it out and they play their game how they need to play it to win. Shitty football teams go into these games, lose, and then go, the weather wasn't very good for us. Like, no. You gotta be able to play anytime, anywhere. And that's why cold weather games are fun, because it brings out the true teams.
Me
Like
absolutely
Miami
crashing
Dolphins,
out
frauds.
when
Frauds.
Aaron
Dolphins are
Rodgers was
frauds.
like... Me crashing out when Aaron Rodgers was like, you know, it's just the New York wind. It's a little nippy, you know? After playing years
Playing
in
Green
fucking-
Bay. That's great.
We're not bringing up Mr. Rogers anymore this year. That's my resolution. I would say they're dub to watch, flub to play in. Definitely.
Flub to be at the game though. That's a flub. That is a flub. Just sitting there in the cold.
I would be so pissed if I paid $500, like those playoff tickets, like
But
$1,000 to shivery,
you
man.
know going what it's gonna be like. You know, like you're choosing that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, no.
Dub or flub. Jaden Daniels can take the Commanders to the Super Bowl W.
Yeah. I think that's an easy W. I think he can win.
I think he can.
Dub.
Because that's not even saying likely or even winning the Super Bowl, but I think he totally could beat the Eagles.
Here's what I think.
We'll talk
The
about
Eagles-
the predictions once we get there, Kale. Unless it's just
But
a
I'm just saying this is a Jaden Daniels path, all right?
Of course.
Jaden Daniels has played the Eagles before, all right? That could go either way. He's playing well right now. Eagles, their quarterback seems weird. But we'll get past that. He beats the Eagles. Of course, the Chiefs are going to lose. The Bills Commanders in the Super Bowl, just the absolute fucking shootout of a century, back and forth. Jaden Daniels, he might have it in him. He's younger. He might have more runs in him than Josh Allen. I could see it. It's so possible. It's scary. Like, I don't know.
It's not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous to say that. It's not ridiculous to say that Jaden Daniels MVP is back.
Yeah, who the fuck cares about MVP? I'm going for Super Bowl MVP, motherfuckers. I just want to say that, like, if I don't know what I win, but when I said MVP in the beginning of the season, I didn't specify. All right?
You did. You did.
Oh,
Because we pressured you.
It's okay. It's okay. Dub or flub. Lions are a bigger letdown than the Vikings.
Dub.
Huge, massive W.
Yeah. Everyone was calling the Vikings frauds all regular season.
Well, everyone was being frauds, calling the Vikings frauds until they lost the last game of the season, and Sam Darnold looked like absolute
When they
dog
secured
shit.
their placement as frauds.
Yes, basically. So then we were like, oh shit, maybe the Vikings aren't actually that good. Proved they sucked ass, okay? But the Lions, they beat everyone by 1,000,000 points all year. They're the big bad Lions. Oh my god. Lose to the 6th seed Commanders. in like not even a close game. I mean, disgusting behavior from them. I'm happy, but just a disgusting letdown. All the
It was
Lions fans be like,
absolutely
"Why?
awful.
How did this happen?" It's like, bro, I don't know. Play better. Don't talk shit until you get hit.
Yeah,
string. Third
I expected
strings.
so much more from those. I expected the Lions to shit the bed in the conference. All right, not in the division. I thought they were gonna finally show Jaden Daniels what's up, and we just had false hope for the defense, and we had to watch that travesty happen. So
And Ben Johnson stayed for that. Can you believe that? He stayed for that. Like, that's insane.
Ben Johnson, that was, dude.
This is
New
crazy.
Dubber
This
Flub
is
off the
insane.
dome.
We gotta
Okay.
stop. This is actually psychotic.
What?
I think the Lions had a, I would say yes, it's a bigger letdown from a 1-to-1 perspective. Is it an expected outcome due to their 20 plus injuries? Probably. Is it still a letdown? Yes.
The Lions knew they got to score 40 plus in that. Every game to win. They didn't do it.
I think
Yes.
it's a travesty that people interview coaches or coordinators during playoffs. Like, that should not be allowed in the league. Like, not
It
until
is
playoffs are
fucked
over
up.
can you interview with new teams.
But your coordinators that are looking for head coaching jobs are always the ones in the playoffs.
Exactly.
It's
So
true.
you know how long the off season is? You can't wait
It's
2
so long.
weeks. Come on.
They can't.
It is fucked up. I agree. Ben Johnson was distracted. He didn't have his best game. That's why they
I
lost.
think it's not crazy to say he was distracted.
It's not crazy to say that.
It's also not crazy to say 4 turnovers.
Dub or flub. Ravens players have a vendetta against Lamar winning playoff games. Who wants to start?
I do.
Yeah.
This is a flub because Lamar has a vendetta.
Did you
against
write this
himself
just so you
winning
could give it a
playoff
flub?
games.
Is that what this was? I did not write this. This is bullshit. I detest the existence of this. You could have just written Lamar chokes the playoff games. You don't have to set it up the opposite so you call it a flub. Are you
Dude, his teammates aren't the ones that let him down every year. It's
That
himself.
was last year.
So this is a flub.
It was last year. This is a dub.
Since we go off the current season, I'm going to say, as I said earlier,
Who said we
this
got
is
to the
a
current
flub.
season?
Looking at the current season's results for the Ravens.
Why? Look at the question says in playoff seasons. The question says for multiple.
Flub.
Stop copying. You just
sorry.
don't. You haven't even watched the Ravens in the playoffs before this year.
You don't have to. They don't win. You know it.
Oh, like your playoff record's so great.
No, we're not talking about the Vikings.
Hey, Caden, where's your team?
I don't know why I'm catching strays. I'm just giving my dub or flub response.
And if nobody heard that correctly, because it was a little bit muffled, Caden said flub with me. Just so everyone knows.
I have enemies sat at my table.
Tim, I know he's your Pookie, but he can catch a catch a blame here and there. Okay.
I've been blaming him all episode.
Okay. I'm glad we're all on the same page then. Dub or flub. Bills have the most stacked receiving core without the guy. Caleb, I know you wrote this, so you want to just explain that?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, and we've actually talked about this last week, I think, when we were going through the Bills receiving core. They don't have a name that's their number one receiver. I know that we've talked about Shakir, and Shakir is their number one, obviously, but he's not like that guy, that everyone's like, oh my god, Khalil Shakir.
Certainly.
No, they just have a ton of different names that can all go crazy, and you never know what's gonna happen. Like, they won this game with Amari Cooper having 0 catches. That's beyond Keon Coleman one catch for 5 yards. Like, beyond surprising.
They're saving all the
that
write-ups
these-
for next week. With
Yeah,
those- with
maybe.
those-
I mean, they have like 5 or 6 guys that wouldn't surprise me if they went crazy and had an insane game, and they were the reason they won that game. Like, I just feel like the Chiefs, obviously their offense not good. Their wide receiving core very, very eh. Like, they picked up DeAndre Hopkins, and he got 0 catches in that game. Eagles, they have a great receiving core of 2 people, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, but right now they didn't even get the ball passed to them, so they haven't got anything.
They need it.
And the Commanders, like I said, they've got
They got like 2 or 3 now.
Terry McLaurin, I guess Diami Brown, maybe 2 or 3, but like the Bills just have a stacked core compared to the rest of the teams in the playoffs. So this is a dub take. That's why they're going to win the Super Bowl.
That is not what your prediction chart said. But moving on, Deborah
They're gonna be in
Flub,
it.
Ben Johnson to the Bears.
Dub
just
for the
talking about
Bears,
that guy.
flub for the Lions. I already said it should not be allowed to be this early in playoffs, but I mean, come on, this Lions offense has been kind of outstanding, and as much as I love Dan Campbell, he's not the play caller on that, so I think it makes sense.
This is definitely a dub for the Bears. I think it's maybe a breath of fresh air because their last 2 hires have been, or last 3 hires, whatever it is, have been abysmal. This one people are actually excited about. I'm glad they didn't pick up some name that had already been fired from elsewhere. Just give a new coach a shot, see what he can do. Just hack Dan Campbell's right arm off, and then somebody else pick up Aaron Glenn and hack his left arm off, and always got his legs. And we'll see if he can still stand on his 2 feet.
Aaron Glenn potentially to the Jets. Inbound?
Potentially. But this is a dub for the Bears. It's good for them. I mean, hopefully he can. I don't want the Bears to be good, but I just feel like Caleb Williams has just gotten the short end of the stick, and I hope that he gets a little bit of a shot.
Are we going to see the first 4,000-yard QB for the Bears?
Absolutely.
WWW. Dub. Deborah Flub. All penalties above 15 yards should be reviewable. Or even reviewed.
I don't think they should all be reviewed no matter what, but I think they should be like the NFL, like where they just like quick review it and then they can call in and say, "Hey, this was messed up."
Yep.
Like,
Yeah,
you
for
shouldn't.
sure.
I don't want to sit there for every single penalty to be reviewed.
But is
But-
every
but I
single
do want them
penalty
to do a
15 yards
quick one.
plus?
No, that's fair. Not most are not.
Most are not. I agree.
What's 15 yards?
Unnecessary roughness.
Unnecessary roughness.
Roughing-
Is it roughing
pretty
the
much
field? Is that
any-
only 10? Obviously,
roughing the kickers.
DPI
15.
could be 15.
Pretty much
Roughing the
any
kickers,
roughing.
15.
Yeah. Yeah.
much
It's-
any
it's
roughing
not a
call.
crazy amount. I could be down with that. I just want the NFL to do more. Like, there was some multiple calls in the Vikings game. This is going back. We shouldn't be talking about the Vikings, but where the refs like called, like New York called in and said, "Hey, you messed this up. It should be this," and then they just changed the call, which is
Yep.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to be correct. Like, for the love of God, please
Yeah.
make the right call. If you messed up, just fix it. Nobody's gonna be like, "Oh my God, the refs suck," because they had to fix their call like 5 times tonight. No, they're gonna be like, "Thank God the refs made
Apparently,
it the
they're
right
that
call."
scared the Chiefs fans will freak out if they make the right call.
They should be. Chiefs fans be crazy.
Chiefs fans make me want to crash out, dude. I saw a stat earlier today. It was like this. It was like in the past, like I think it was 2 seasons of football, Josh Allen has more roughing the passer calls against him than Patrick Mahomes has in his whole career. And I'm just sitting there like, sure,
Josh Allen's a flopper.
that's totally true. For one, that's totally true. For two, maybe it's the Jets just have a vendetta and want to amp this stat up 7,000%. Number three, it doesn't matter the amount, it matters the time, and the Chiefs always get it on these third and fucking ridiculous.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter the amount, matters the time.
I saw Nick Wright trying to put the pin on Josh Allen though. He was like, Josh Allen is who people think Patrick Mahomes is, and I'm like, okay, no, no. Josh Allen flops sometimes, but Patrick Mahomes is literally another level of
it's like
ref
comical.
calling. It's actually awful to watch.
That's true. Let's get right
It's
into the next
genuinely
point.
his strategy. Like,
I agree.
love him, hate him. He calls for it. He begs for it. He flops.
On God.
It works for him.
Probably pays for it too.
Right out of pocket. Pocket to pocket.
His paycheck is split like 75-25. 75 him, 25 to the NFL reffing organization.
I will dub the penalties above 15 should be reviewable.
Yeah,
Tim?
dub.
But moving on to what we were just talking about, dub or flub. If flops are going to become a normality, harder hits should become a normality.
Flub, what does this mean?
This means
he's already pretty bad.
This means
we gotta
right.
keep
Yeah,
the players in, man.
This means right.
We have to let the
bad.
players play 18 weeks. 17.
This is what I'm saying, right? If let's just say a quarterback that wears, let's say, red and yellow, flops a ridiculous amount of times during a game, and the defense, let's say, an upcoming down the line game, like a team that's blue and white, crashes out, and one of their defenders, just breaks the back of said QB. As a reasonable crash out. Pretty much what I'm saying is if flops are going to become a normality, then defenders are going to get the mindset of, okay, you're going to flop, I'm going to make a fucking, like, if I'm already getting fouled, I'm going to actually foul.
That's a saying in basketball. If you're gonna foul, make
Foul
sure
hard.
you have a chance to make it.
Yep.
But what they should do is invent a flag for flopping that if it's so obvious, it's egregious, 15-year penalty on you, motherfucker.
I agree.
Like...
Either three things need to happen. First thing, or one of three things need to happen. First thing, the QB needs to be fouled themselves if they flop and it's ridiculous. That's the first thing that could happen. The second thing is the refs need to be held accountable to some degree when they do a bad call like this. Or number three, the defense starts crashing out and people start getting hurt.
The QB sliding legs first has got to be changed. I don't know what they got to do, but Patrick Mahomes waiting to slide till it's like last second, the Texans literally giving each other CTE and not hitting him, and then the penalties on them is insane. Like, that should be reviewable. Hey, just so you know, they didn't hit him. They killed each other. Like, please make that reviewable. Like, don't this is reviewable, but this isn't reviewable. Like, the most important plays happen on these non-reviewable plays where they make the wrong call. Like,
there's so many terrible calls.
Just fix it.
Especially like the one where Patrick Mahomes flops out of bounds. Every game this past weekend, Lamar Jackson gets hip drop tackled out of fucking bounds. No flag on that.
Yeah. The hip drop, I don't know why they even made that a flag this year because
I think it was called once.
It's not real. They don't call it.
Jared Goff gets his fucking brain literally smushed into the front of his fucking skull. No flag. Josh Allen is just running through people because he's already got CTEs. Like, it doesn't even make sense. It's not the fact that QBs get special treatment. It's the fact that only one QB gets special treatment. That's the fucking issue. And it breaks the game. He's breaking the meta. Patrick Mahomes must be stopped. Bane drop his ass. Someone's got to do it.
And the Chiefs fans are always like, you're
Bean
so
bombing.
focused on Patrick Mahomes. Like, you're so focused on him. Like, it happens to everyone. It's like, no. When you are the best of the best, the focus and the spotlight's on you. So you got to fucking deal with it. We're going to look at you and say, we're going to try to tear you down. So don't do things that make it easy to tear you down.
I saw a play
Not gonna
where
stop.
Tom Brady literally got his
baby-back
brain
bitch.
smushed when he was rushing with the ball as
And
he was
just
trying
stood
to go
right
down.
back up.
And he just stood right back up. No flag. Walked off the field.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand it. Contact sport for everybody but Mahomo Christ. Fucking
Insane.
jeez Louise. So, yep, if flops are normal and we don't do anything, definitely just dub that up. Defenders crash out all you need to. If someone's got to get paralyzed to change a rule, someone's got to get paralyzed. It's the way it is.
I mean, if you look up the hits they used to do, it's insane.
Dude, I've sat back with a beer in my hand watching like NFL biggest hits compilation. And those guys are dying.
It's like literal murder, like on TV.
I know.
It's
That's
insane.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If we're flopping out there and we're allowing it, and someone's got to get hurt, that person's got to get hurt to change the rule. That's the way it is. That's
Hey, how about DeMar Hamlin being the one to force the fumble on?
Yeah. He had that
On
he
Lamar
had a double
Jackson.
guardian cap
Isn't that
ready to die
insane?
again, man.
Bro almost died and said, "Nah, I'll end Lamar's playoff run."
that's a
Insane.
goat.
Good on him.
Goat status.
Good on him.
Dubber Flub. Jalen Hurts is a system QB. Actually, hang on. Before we double flip that, what was your guys' double flub to the harder hits are normal? Thoughts? Double
I
flub.
have to say,
Flub.
Flub. I can't. I can't.
Okay.
No, I can't.
Just had to
We
read the
can't.
room, you know. Thanks, guys.
It's just you.
Double flub. Jalen Hurts is a system QB. I'll say dub. Are we saying that Jared Goff is also a system QB then? Or...
I see. I was gonna say, I wasn't gonna say anything, but I would like to point out, genuinely, I'm not saying anything, but just funny to see for this week is that Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen have like identical stat lines.
Okay, so
That's true.
I think Flub. I think Flub.
I'm gonna go with Tim on this, and I don't think that that Jalen Hurts has played well. I don't think he's an amazing quarterback. However, since he's been on the team, they have been very good. They've made it very far in the playoffs many times. They've been to a Super Bowl. They did lose to the Chiefs. Fuck the Chiefs. But he didn't always have Saquon. Like, he didn't always have the most insane, an amazing receiving core. Like, the defense has always been pretty good, but, like, they don't do all that with a system quarterback. Like, the system's not making him good. He himself can run, which that in itself makes him not a system QB, in my opinion. Like, he creates his own offense, and he's not actually, he's the exact I think he's actually the exact opposite of a system quarterback, because he doesn't sit there and throw the ball with consistency to these great wide receivers. I think he's kind of mediocre in that regards. He just excels everywhere else. Big ass legs that he can push those
fucking
away from.
thunder thighs.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a good quarterback to have for your team. I don't think he's trustworthy. Obviously, they haven't won the big one yet. They might this year. Who knows? But he's not a system quarterback. So, Flub.
I say Flub as well. He's not one.
He's changed. He's changed.
Or all I was gonna say is if we're calling Jalen Hurts a system QB, then like Jared Goff is a goddamn robot on the field. That's all I'm gonna say.
We're
That's
not
all I'm
calling
gonna say.
Jalen Hurts, but I think that Jared Goff may be a robot on the goddamn field.
Robots don't throw 3 interceptions.
Shit, he's not even a system QB.
All right.
He's worse.
Dub or flub, upsets are inevitable in the conference title. And before I get too far into this, I have a stat line for you guys. Get ready for this. The reason I say this is Patrick Mahomes in his past 22 games is 21-1. The team he lost to, the Bills. The Eagles are 14-1 in their past 15 games. Their only loss, the Commanders.
Ooh, hype.
I think it's what we in the business call inevitable. I think there's going to be at least one upset. Of course, this upset will be the Bills dumpstering the fraud Chiefs. Of course. The Eagles Commanders, not the way I saw it, but I have the Eagles going to the Super Bowl. So I'm trying to get some points on my chart. So, go Eagles.
I think this is a dub take because I think it's going to be double upsets. I think we have a Bills Commanders.
If it's
Jaden
a
Daniels
Bills
has played the
Commanders,
Eagles
it's going to
twice.
be crazy. It'd be
I need to admit
insane.
something. I want the Chiefs to win.
Oh,
You're fraud.
this
You're
is
fraud.
this is changing. New podcast format. Tim's not on it.
I'm sorry. You knocked me out of the
can't-
playoffs. I need you out of the playoffs. Chiefs. I need
Lamar
Chiefs
Jackson,
to go to the
the
Super
first-
Bowl and
Lamar
then lose
Jackson,
to
the
Commanders.
first thing he says when he gets up to Josh Allen, go win something, brother. Tim on the
we
sidelines.
didn't talk
I
about
need the
that.
Chiefs.
See, I'm not.
fucking
Lamar
win.
Jackson's a better man than me. He's a better man than me.
We did not talk about that. Great sportsmanship, but what the fuck? Like, I appreciate the sportsmanship, dude. You can't run up to him and like look at happy. Like, I don't know. Like
He
you
wasn't
gotta-
happy.
He was smiling. And
He was.
shit.
He
like,
was smiling.
like I know he was obviously he's down, but like he didn't look down in the moment. And
That's
like
a good point. I
maybe he's
wish
smiling
I wish
through- he's
Lamar
probably smiling through the
Jackson
pain.
had the same crash out as Patrick Mahomes had
no,
when
I hate that. That's worse.
he was like,
That's actually worse.
No, that's so
dumbest
much worse.
fucking call ever. So dumb. And he's mouthing off to Josh Allen at the end of the
Facts.
game.
No, that sucked too. I'll take Lamar's 1,000 times over that bullshit. Like just say good game, but I just hate it when players don't look like upset or sad because it makes me feel like they didn't care. I know Lamar cared. All right, I'm not saying he didn't, but like obviously they must like each other a lot. They play each other a lot in the same conference, but didn't love the look. Dub,
Definitely.
flub.
Dub upsets.
I
are
don't think
inevitable.
we're in dub or flub,
I know.
but yeah.
Last.
I honestly too,
Oh,
because then I would feel vindicated a little bit by being like, just wait, because the Chiefs are just gonna lock in again. I just let Patrick Mahomes lose in the Super Bowl to the Commanders.
third time's a
That'd be
charm.
insane.
Third time's a charm.
That'd be insane.
That is the perfect game, and that's not gonna happen because I can never be happy in playoffs. I'm gonna lose all my money fucking sports gambling on the Super Bowl again.
I don't know how dude. You're so awesome. The last dub or flub here. We need full-time refs in this league.
Illegal that we don't have full-time refs. Illegal that the NFL, the biggest sports organization in the United States of America, cannot pay refs
Wait,
to
Josh,
be
it'd
refs.
be
I'm
too
just
much
finding out for
money.
the first time that this is not their jobs.
No, they work.
It's like
they have
it's like
jobs
part-time
outside of
accountants and
this.
shit, Tim.
Yes.
Do these
come
people
out-
not get like beat up in the streets?
No,
Like,
Tim.
It's crazy.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine this? You get paid and pay reductions based on your performance of calling calls. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. That'd be.
maybe then you'd be motivated to call better.
It's insane. Their job should be to study NFL games for like 6 months and then call
then the
NFL
season
games
is there.
for like 6 months.
Dude, get me on the fucking
5
sideline, dude.
months,
Like,
whatever
what
it
the fuck is
Give
going
them-
on?
It's insane. Like they got to be better. Like there's just no way.
You
No way.
have to be better.
The NFL has so much money. Why don't they pay these people for a year's work? Like what?
Because they like
Insane.
the fans' balls getting crushed every year to push
For
forward
real.
the Mahomo agenda. It's obvious. So, yep, definitely a dub. We need full-time refs. Not even feasible how we don't have full-time refs. I'm going to assume the whole call's saying dub on that, because that's just logical. Upcoming league thoughts. Before we jump into our thoughts on the two conference games, let me go over the playoff scores of this week.
Oh boy.
Me, I'll start. I went from 4 points to motherfucking 10 points, alright? Let's get this right. So, playoff score, wild card round was 1 point. Divisionals 2, Conference 3, Super Bowl 4. This is just for getting your teams right in the right place. Me, I had the Chiefs beating the Chargers. And as we said last week, we're counting if the team won, even if it's not against the right team. Boom, Chiefs win. 2 points there. Bills, unfortunately, I guessed correctly, and the Ravens lost. The Bills won. 2 points there. Double, unfortunately, the Bucks weren't even in the playoffs this deep, but the Eagles won. Boom, 2 points there. And then lastly, I had the Lions beating the Rams, which unfortunately did not happen. So I didn't get 2 points there. So I got 6 points, bumping my 4 up to a 10. Skadoosh. Let's move to Tim.
I'm
Tim
losing,
had-
guys. I have the Lions, Ravens, and the Super Bowls. I mean, I have to do the math. I'm losing. I got the Eagles and Chiefs, but who didn't? You know, it's done for. I got the upsets. I'm cooked.
That's cooked.
Next.
Yep. Yeah. Tim had the Ravens winning, Chiefs winning, Eagles winning, Lions winning. He only got 4 points. He's at 8. And then Caleb's kind of in the same boat. He had the Chiefs winning, Bills winning, so that's his 4 points. But then he had the Vikings beating the Eagles and the Lions beating the Commanders.
I'm dead in the water.
So technically, Tim and Caleb are tied for 8th, and I'm only up by 2. But next week is going to be a big game, or a big scoring opportunity for me, because I have the Bills and the Chiefs there, and the Eagles and the Lions is what I had. But I had the Eagles to win and the Bills to win. Tim had
So I
no
can't
teams
win
left,
no matter what.
but Caleb could get second place with his correct Bills call.
How awesome would it be if I just get all of the AFC correct and just none of the NFC correct? Just
Well, unfortunately, you said the Chargers would win, like we all did.
oh
So
shit, 1 game off. Damn.
So
well.
that is the playoff scores. Moving into the games, I know we've talked a lot about the Bills Chiefs coming up. Any further comments to add, boys? Tim? I think you said you want the Chiefs to
I have
win.
seen Chiefs fans sacrificing newborns underneath Arrowhead Field. This is a tip to the proper organizations. Black magic will be occurring. I've been trying to contact the witches to increase the rate of dark magic. They haven't gotten back to me yet.
I saw a meme, and it was like the Bills, amazing quarterback play, solid running back play, defense playing good, offensive line creating amazing pockets, Chiefs, and it's just the fucking like book of witchcraft and dark magic.
I mean, let's just look at this game straight up. I understand the Chiefs are the 1 seed. I understand they've lost 1 game this year. It was to the Bills. Let's not forget that. They lost to the Bills.
Yep.
What was the score now? Need to pulling it up. Just want to, because I don't think it wasn't the closest game. They lost 30-21. You know, not crazy close, but also not a blowout.
And then they went on to have 5 games in a row with Black Magic, where they caused their opposing teams to miss 3 winning field goals for some reason.
Yes, it's insane. But the Bills, like, you just have to look at it. And I know that the Chiefs, I know that, like, we think it's already written in the scripts for them to be in the Super Bowl. The Bills defense, obviously not as good as the Chiefs defense. Just that one's a straight up easy. Bills offense, way the fuck better than the Chiefs offense. I feel like the difference in skill level between like the Bills offense and the Chiefs offense is really big, but the difference in skill level between the Bills defense and the Chiefs defense is not as big. So we're gonna do that's math computing. Bills win.
Okay,
go, Bills.
here's what I have to say. Here's something real I'll have to say is the Bills beat the Ravens, who made a ton of mistakes by 2 points. The whole thing with the Chiefs is they don't make mistakes. And yes, they already beat them before. It's gonna be a tough one. I'm gonna take Chiefs on this one.
Sorry, I almost had like a PTSD episode of a crash out. Like I could see it in my head. I don't really want to talk about this game because the Bills are going to win. The Chiefs are going to fucking lose. Travis Kelce's going to get his knee blown the fuck backwards, and Taylor Swift's going to run out on the field, and then every single flag will fly because Taylor Swift's on the field, and then Chiefs will automatically lose the game. That's my prediction. Get it in stone.
I'm gonna go crazy here, and I'm probably gonna be dead ass wrong. I think the Bills like handily win this game.
No, I think
That's a bold assumption.
I think
It is
The Bills
bold.
ever
I just-
handily won something against the Chiefs.
let's do some score predictions, Tim. With this game, pull out the calculator. Pull out the calculator.
I'm
I got
gonna
mine in my
do. I'm gonna do Chiefs 30, Bills 24.
Interesting. I've got Bills 31, Chiefs 20.
I had Bills 31, Chiefs 24.
I think that the Chiefs defense is good enough that the Bills aren't going to go like, 35 plus, but I
Could
don't
even
think
be
the
a
Chiefs can
28
get over
game,
20 points.
honestly. Might do a 28.
Yeah, it could be.
28-24. Final score for me.
I just feel like Patrick Mahomes max has 2 touchdowns. Like,
Nope.
I just-
Travis
I just don't
Kelce
see it.
magically appears in the middle of the field open every fucking play kill. He's a fucking leprechaun, dude. I can't stand it. That's our score predictions for the Bills Chiefs. How about for the Commanders Eagles? What do we got? What do we got here? Score predictions, thoughts.
well, we got to talk about the game first.
Let's talk about the
Then we'll
game.
do scores.
So you guys
What an
both got the
exciting
Commanders winning, right?
Yeah, I give it to the Commanders just because I like them more.
It's more of a want. Like, I don't even think it's
Yeah, I think
necessarily
the Eagles
like
are
I
probably gonna
believe.
win.
I feel like the Eagles. This is such a toss-up. Like, I actually don't think that the Eagles have like the big, lead in winning this game, just because they've played twice already, and the Eagles they're gonna have to throw the ball.
Yep.
I think, because if the Commanders score a bunch, you can only run so much.
Unless Saquon
before
Barkley
having to
just
throw it.
runs 300 yards, and
Which
two
is
of
totally
those is
possible.
70. Yep.
It's totally possible. I don't know. This is such a toss-up. It's really just like, will Jaden Daniels carry the Commanders once again to the motherfucking Super Bowl? Like, that's insane to say. Like, if you would have said at the beginning of the season, week 1, Commanders fans, just so you know, your quarterback's taking you to the Super Bowl, they would have said, nah. Like, I love this guy, but please don't break my dreams and hopes like that. Like, it's just insane. I don't know. The Eagles, worst case scenario is Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs again. That's just an awful Super Bowl that I do not want to watch.
No, Bills.
Yeah,
Bills
that's
are
worst
winning.
case scenario.
Bills are
That is
winning. They
worst
have to
case
win.
scenario.
In my mind, this is how I see it. Right, Jaden Daniels, excellent talent. He can get out of that pocket. He can throw it. He can even run it like a mofo. But I think the Eagles are going to do what they've done all year. Amazing O-line, amazing running back, amazing rushing quarterback. They're just going to pound the fucking ball and waste all your fucking time.
That's fair.
I think that's what's going to happen.
That's not crazy to say. But does Saquon pop one to finish the game?
Like a hernia or?
Nope, we're talking about a touchy. A touchdown. A touchdown, that's what I meant to say.
I think Saquon gets at least one touchdown. I think Jalen Hurts is going to have at least 3 touchdowns.
Whoa.
I think at least 3 touchdowns with push.
Whoa, that's quite a prediction. He's not played one well all year, really.
You can say whatever you want. Last week he got 0 touchdowns.
Here's what here's the path. I have an insight into how the Commanders are going to win this game, okay?
Lay it on me, boss.
Jalen Hurts throws interceptions, okay? And fumbles can happen here and there. The Commanders have not really had turnovers. Jane Daniels has not turned the ball over. That's the reason they've won their games. That's the reason they're going to win this game. They win the turnover battle. He scores more points than the other team. He doesn't need a defense. Boom. Commanders win.
But the Eagles' defense is solid.
I know, but they've played, and I need to look at I had it up.
Tim, what were you going to say? Lay it on me, Tim.
I was just going to say, I'm giving this game to the Commanders, win 36-33.
Ooh.
I like that prediction, Tim. I like that prediction.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of funny since the Commanders already beat the Eagles 36-33.
Inspiration, some would say.
The other game was a 26-18. So, I think Tim's on the right path, though. I'm going to go Commanders 35, Eagles 28.
I'm going a field goal game, just like Tim, but it's going to be 31 Eagles, 28 Commanders. I think this game will be a ground pound. I think it's going to really come down to is if the Eagles defense can stop Jane Daniels' arm at the same time as stopping his running. Because I can see them stopping the run game. Totally see it. It's the passing that I get worried about because he is so fucking good at throwing on the move. It's ridiculous.
Hey, maybe A.J. Brown will just read his book so hard he'll be wide open in the end zone on repeat.
So fucking locked in, dude.
He'll be reading the book while running the route.
But yeah, that's our that concludes our league thoughts. Any closing remarks going into conference week, boys?
Banger week of football. I mean, both these games should be super fun. Last week's games were great.
Besides the
first round
game,
wasn't great. But...
Like, it'd be an amazing game if the Chiefs just weren't there. Like, if I could see the Ravens Bills at this point, I'd be much more happy than last week.
That's fair, but play better than regular season. That's all I have to say about that.
If they wanted to win, they should have just been a better team. Because that's the way it is.
So, Bills, be the better team. Please, God, please.
Go Commanders. That's all I have to say.
We need you.
Go Commanders.
Jane Daniels, Super Bowl MVP. Here it comes.
All right. And with that, we sign off. Next week, we'll talk about who's going to be in the Super Bowl and all of our expectations. As always, thanks everybody for watching, and stay awesome.
See ya.